It's crazy of me to think that it's been 9 years that I've been working on this now. It's been an incredible journey, but here we are, almost at the finish line. My name is Kemper, and I'm making an action RTS video game called Conquest of Eldinar. For me growing up, it was a pretty solitary environment. I couldn't really go out, adventure too much. Video games were like my escape. Getting to play Ocarina of Time and Fable and Warcraft 3, all these games from my childhood, it was through those that I got to go on adventures and meet new people and explore and do all of the things that I couldn't do in real life. I think it's because of those games that I played and the adventures that they allowed me to go on that then inspired me to go and create adventures of my own. All of my creativity, I think I owe it to those original developers. They're sitting around in an office, slaving away, making these polygons, and little did they know they were like forging the creative instinct of future artists. So now that I'm an adult, I feel that mantle of responsibility's been passed on to me, and now here I am creating things, and I feel this immense pressure to take that torch with a sense of responsibility and pass it on to the next generation. I think if I inspired one more person out there to create, I think that would be enough for me. I think I've always just loved fantasy and gravitated towards that the most. I loved Lord of the Rings and Warcraft and Zelda and all that. And Conquest of Eldinar just kind of serves as this ultimate amalgamation of every fantasy I've ever loved and enjoyed. It's just all of it and more. There's so many different unique corners of fantasy that are usually isolated. So I guess the whole origin inception of the game was, well, what if we threw all of it in one sandbox and see what would happen? It's just an endlessly entertaining world to revisit, and I'm so excited to introduce players to that world and let them in it and start telling stories of their own. Well, I think a huge inspiration for me was this one game that I used to play in the school library at lunch. It was called Stick War. The thing that gravitated me about that game so much was the fact that it was an RTS. But the thing that was interesting about Stick War was that it let you take control of the character and get in the action. So it was like this beautiful combination of two different genres that you don't really see mixed that much, but when done right and mixed together, it's very fun. I thought Stick War was a great starting idea, but asking myself, what more could we maybe do with this? There's all sorts of untapped potential in that idea that, realized to its fullest extent, I think could be this beautifully fantastic and engaging subgenre on its own. I think our game combines the best elements of strategy games and the best elements of action games into one package that is just going to be streamlined and efficient and fun. I've worked a lot of day jobs. I'm still doing it now while I'm working on the game part-time. I never quite feel at home or like I'm really good at those things. But when I'm working on Conquest of Eldinar and I'm painting characters and creating worlds, I feel like this is where I belong. I think regardless of if the Kickstarter fails or succeeds, I'll be here doing this because it's what I'm meant to do.